So, Mark, big problem for club players, that kick serve. So how can we work on this, and what part of the body are we going to target?
Yeah, it really is a big problem. I think the biggest way to think about it is focusing on the upper body and specifically the shoulder area, making sure the shoulder position gets in the starting position that it needs to and then finishes where it needs to. So progression is really working on getting a player to feel that and to make sure that they're able to load in the right way and then release that energy correctly.
All right, let's see how it works.
Okay, so the first progression we usually try to do with this is we get some tennis balls and we just start with throwing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get our athlete here to get in position, and they're going to start thinking about putting their arm approximately, if we come over here, we can kind of see here at around 9 o'clock or so, that arm is going to be positioning. So you've got that angle there. They're trying to teach that what's called, it's really stage 4 of the serve, where the elbow points to the sky and the racket is really dipping down. A lot of people can't feel that because the racket's behind their head, so it's really difficult to get a sense of where that is in space. So this drill is really good at getting the athlete to feel comfortable there. And then what we want to do is we want to supinate a little bit. So we get into this position here, and then we're going to come from here and we're going to release out, and we're going to try to finish around 2:30. So to see how he's finishing here, the goal is going to be, when we come back, is to come from here and to try to finish out there a little bit. So what we're trying to work on here is get the sense of where the racket's going to start and where the racket's going to finish. And this is one of the best ways to do it because we're taking the racket out of their hand and they can actually slowly feel the positioning of the arm. So try one like that. Go from there and then release out. Good. And again, the goal here, there's a couple of things we can see from the back. You can see how the thumb is pointing down. We see the same thing in baseball pitchers and football quarterbacks. The great throwers, the ones that have the greatest mechanics and the most spin on the ball, are able to get their thumb down, pinky finger up. And we're trying to make that same connection there.
And tennis players typically think of that as pronation. There's actually scientifically a different term for that, right?
Correct. So pronation is the end of the motion. So when you think about pronation, we're thinking about this motion here. That's all pronation is. It's just that distance. So we've got a slight movement at the elbow, and that's what we're talking about. What actually happens on the serve is a little bit more in depth than that. We have what's called internal shoulder rotation here, which does that, and then we shift into pronation. And then we also have some wrist movement as well. So it's those three things that go together is called long axis rotation. It's a biomechanical term that's really talking about the entire arm moving in a sequence. So, but as you said, a lot of people use the term pronation, which is correct. It's just only one part of that 3-part sequence.
And I think the good thing about that drill in particular is you get the arm moving, you don't even have to think about it. It just all falls into place.
Correct. So it teaches that position without you having to specify what they're doing. You just put the people in the right positions. Let's try that one more time.
Yeah, show a couple more reps.
Get the ball in the right position there. So we turn the hand here, and then we go, and then we release, thumb down. Yep, exactly. And when you're practicing this, try to throw up a little bit more. So we're trying to mimic sort of the ball flight of a kick serve.
And we're doing this on a tennis court, but people can practice this wherever.
This can be done inside, out in the garage, wherever you've got space to do something.
And so that one, it almost looked like you didn't pronate enough.
Correct.
Got
to continue to really work on that. And this is going to help get that arm path in the direction that we want.
Yeah, and so for the folks watching this and thinking about practicing, you don't need a target, right? You can just do it, like you said, in your backyard.
Correct. Or if you've got a fence or something you can throw into, you can do that. Stand close to the fence and throw into that as well. There we go. So that was a great one. So that's the first step in the progression. Once you feel comfortable doing that, then the next one is we actually put the racket in the hand. And when we put the racket in the hand, we don't need a ball yet. All we're trying to do is get into that same position. So we get the racket back. And the one thing here, which a lot of people struggle with, is we actually want to turn it a little bit this way. What this is doing is one that's getting the wrist in a position of readiness. So it's actually getting away from where we want to go. So we're getting more range. And then when we're starting here, again, it's going to try to get the elbow up, pointing to the sky. So that's the objective here. We're going to get the tip of the racket pointing down, string sides pointing to the back fence a little bit. And then from here, the racket's going to come up and out towards around 2:30 is the goal. Yeah, you may not get completely to 230, but that's the visual you want to have. You want to start behind the back and you want to come out on a direction that's going to initiate a kick serve motion. So go ahead, do a couple of those. Good. See how that was sort of jolted? There was like steps in that. Do it again. Good. He's doing it in slow motion, which is good so you see it. Now when you pick up the speed, you want to do it a little bit more rhythmical. Go ahead. There we go.
Should there be even more pronation
Correct.
at the end to really twist and have the strings? Yeah.
Correct. Once the athlete feels comfortable with that first step in the motion, the second step in the motion, the thumb is going to be up.
Or pointed down, you mean?
Right. Yeah. No, the thumb's actually going to be
up like that. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to try to point the hand up as high as you can to over-exaggerate this. Go ahead. There
And
we
then
go.
twist. Can we get
Twist up
so
a
it'd be
little bit.
even more
Correct.
like that? To
Exactly.
really exaggerate it. Okay.
Good. There we go. And see how it's having trouble getting it to stop there? So the goal of this is to come here and then really finish like that. So over-exaggerate that. And the goal here is to teach the body to recognize and feel what we're trying to do. Good. But see how it gets stuck right at the end? So what you're trying to do is right at the end is get a little bit more. So you've got that internal shoulder rotation a little bit. There we go. Perfect.
That finish, okay.
There it is. See how that turns over there? Really, really good. So now what we do is we go from there and we start trying to hit a serve. So we're going to have a ball there and you're going to start in that position. So you take the racket back. So as you can see here, and now you're going to hit up on it. Try to go towards 230 on the clock. Good. And that's what you're going to see usually. You're going to see a really explosive sound where if it's done right, you actually see the ball go all the way up the strings. So you got a complete frame to frame response there, which is actually a really good sign. It means you're adding a lot more spin. The first couple times you do this, that's a very normal occurrence. That's actually sort of what you want because it means you're getting in the right position. And the more you do it, then you'll be able to keep it on the strings the entire way without hitting the frame.
You're saying at the beginning, a shank is a good sign.
It's a great sign.
Yeah.
It means that you're coming from low to high and you're actually letting the ball go from frame to frame.
Yeah, you're getting the brush.
Exactly. There it is.
Yep.
Good. And hit up on it. Go from towards that 230 position. Good. And that spin is exactly what we're looking for.
Hey, real quick, if you are not hitting your serve with the power that you want, and a lot of times you feel like you're arming your serve, well, then I want to introduce you to Bert. This is our new AI tennis coach, and he is awesome because all you have to do is head out to the tennis court and film your serve, and in a minute, Bert will tell you what mistakes you're making and how to fix them. And every time you fix one of these mistakes, your serve is going to get a little bit faster. The power you generate in your body is going to end up in the tennis ball. So to take a lesson, go to the App Store, search for Bert, B-E-R-T, download the app, and head out to the court.
Okay, now we just want to hit up on the ball a little bit more. So we're trying to mimic sort of a true ball flight of a kick serve, which is up and out and then over.
Okay.
So really try to hit up on this one. Do everything else that you did the same, which was great. Good. See how that really got both frames? Now we want to swing a little bit harder. When that happens sometimes, that just means you're not swinging fast enough.
Okay.
So we want to accelerate the racket a little bit more. See how that
was a good brush.
But see how that one went down? The next one, we want to go up. Perfect. Yep. See how you're hitting down on these ones though now? So this is great because this is what happens sometimes. You want to make sure when you come from there, you finish out this side. You're finishing forward a little bit too much, which is causing it to come down.
And that's something a lot of club players do too, is they start swinging in the direction they're trying to hit and not, more sideways.
Correct. So always think around that 230 framework. That's kind of where we're aiming the racket. That's better.
There it is. Oof, that thing had a nasty
Yeah.
kick.
See how that thing spun? The sound? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that brush of wind that we hear.
That one felt.
But see, when you slow it down and you hit down on it, that's what happens. So that is why this drill is so important, because it teaches you to make sure that if you hit it right, it's going to work well. If you don't, you're going to get a bad result.
Yeah, there's no in between.
No.
So there's not going to, yeah, this will be a good one for the club player because they're not going to get away.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a half,
do it right.
half in,
Yeah.
half out type
Yeah.
serve. It's only good or bad. You don't have an option for okay. Good. And then you can also bring the ball toss just slightly to the left a little bit as well, because your ball toss was a little to the right there, which makes this even harder. There it is. See how that one spun really well? Good. That's what we're looking for. Now try to hit it a little wider into the box. Yep. That's how that's your miss. So everyone has a miss when they're serving. That's your miss where you drag it down into the net. So our objective is every time you serve is you've got to hit from there to 2 to 230 with the racket going that way, but you're going up and out. Yep. Good. Got to hit up on it. That's the one. Accelerate that arm. Good. There we go.
Got to get kicked.
And now a little bit wider, closer to the sideline. There it is.
Yep.
That's your money serve right there. Good. Like it. So now the last step in this progression is to go back to your normal motion, normal start, everything like you normally would. The adjustment here is you're going to do a really good job of getting into that stage 4, that cocking position, elbow to the sky, tip of the racket down to the ground, and then accelerate really hard and fast to 2 o'clock or 2:30 on the clock, and really try to make sure the ball goes up and out and over the net.
So I'm good.
Exactly. Full motion. Yep. Good. And then keep accelerating that racket. That's the biggest challenge we see in a lot of players, is they don't swing fast enough. Because now you've added this extra spin. If you don't swing fast, the ball ends up going in the net. If you swing fast, it never goes long. That's better. Even more. Even accelerate that racket even more. Good. One minute. Really work on hitting up and out. So when we say out, it's more towards the side, the right side fence for a right-hander. There it is. Very good. I think that was a really good one.
My takeaway from this one, even a really high-level player like Parker has a tendency to swing into the court and not towards the side, towards the fence, like you were saying. And when you guys try this next time you practice, you're probably going to, I would assume, encounter a very similar situation. But at least you know, like, oh, if I'm pulling it down, I know what the mistake is, and Mark has provided the adjustment.
100%. I mean, this is one of the best fixes for people that want to develop a good kick serve, because it shows you when you do it right, it works. And it shows you when you don't do it right, it doesn't work. And you get immediate feedback of the result. So if you do it correctly, you get that extra RPMs on the serve. With some of the high-level players we work with, we can add 400 to 500 RPMs immediately with this drill. So it makes a big, big difference immediately.